In the desolate expanse of the Gobi Desert, there exists a ferocious and terrifying creature. This creature is said to be so dangerous and deadly that the native Mongolian nomads will avoid it at all costs. It has razor-sharp teeth, can spit a toxic and corrosive venom, and even has the ability to electrocute its victims. In today's episode, we will look into the elusive and terrifying Mongolian Death Worm. The Gobi Desert is a large, cold desert and grassland region located in northern China and southern Mongolia. It is the sixth largest desert in the world. The climate of the Gobi is one of great extremes, with rapid changes of temperature of as much as 63 degrees Fahrenheit in 24-hour spans. Despite the harsh conditions, these deserts and the surrounding regions sustain many animal species. Some are even unique, including black-tailed gazelles, marbled polecats, wild Bactrian camels, and Mongolian wild ass. They are occasionally visited by snow leopards, Gobi bears, and wolves. Lizards are especially well adapted to the climate of the Gobi Desert, with approximately 30 species distributed across its southern Mongolian border. There is, however, one creature in particular that has terrified the indigenous nomads and has been the target of cryptozoologists for decades. A 5-foot monster with bright red skin that's said to slither through the desert. The locals call it algoi, korkoi. We know it as the Mongolian Death Worm. According to centuries of alleged sightings, rumors, and legends, the Mongolian Death Worm is a long, sausage-like sandworm, dark red in color with spikes jutting out of both ends of its slithering body. Using venomous spit, strong enough to corrode metal, or electric shocks powerful enough to kill an adult human, these alleged worms are said to live below the sands of the Gobi Desert. Legends still circulate about these monstrous worms, but no one has ever come forward with definitive proof of their existence. The Mongolian Death Worm is an infamous creature whose legend lives in second-hand accounts that have been passed down for generations. Mongolia's nomadic tribes call it algoi, korkoi, which translates roughly to intestine worm, due to its alleged resemblance to the intestinal tract of a cow or human. The worm-like creature with blood-red skin is said to reach up to 5 feet in length. But it is nothing like your average worm. The Mongolian Death Worm is believed to possess some distinctly terrifying features. As British biologist Carl Schucker noted of the legendary creature in The Unexplained, an illustrated guide to the world's natural and paranormal mysteries, the Mongolian Death Worm is believed to possess spike-like projections at both ends of its body. It is also said to have formidable ways of attacking humans or other animals. The worm can purportedly spit corrosive venom or shoot out a powerful shock, electrocuting its victim. Legend has it these terrifying creatures spend most of their time hidden underneath the sandy dunes of the Gobi Desert, but that they often surface during the wetter months of June and July. If a local should happen upon this creature, they know to steer clear. The Mongolian Death Worm, for all the stories of its deadly projectile and grisly appearance, has to this day never been photographed. But not due to lack of effort. Curious researchers and intrepid adventurers have combed the Gobi Desert in search of the legendary creature. Most famously, Czech cryptozoologist Ivan Mackerel, one of the foremost investigators of the mysterious animal, traveled to Mongolia 3 times in search of the worm, in 1990, 1992, and 2004. Mackerel first heard of the death worm as a boy from the work of paleontologist Ivan Yefremov. In college, after meeting a Mongolian student who believed in the worm, Mackerel became obsessed. He combed through Mongolian literature to find more clues about the death worm and was finally granted permission by the Mongolian authorities to conduct research there, when he was in his late 40s. Inspired by Frank Herbert's 1965 sci-fi novel Dune, which features giant sandworms that are attracted to rhythmic vibrations, Mackerel's expedition team tried different ways to project vibrations underground during their search for the Mongolian Death Worm. While Mackerel's expeditions failed to discover definitive proof of the animal, they did provide most of the modern research material related to the Mongolian Death Worm. Subsequent expeditions to hunt down the sand beast continue to this day. In the mid-20th century, the Mongolian communist regime reportedly banned research or talk of the worm, which made it difficult to probe and sort these jumbled tales. But Sandra Fay, who's published a kid's book about the Algoi Korkoi, points out that the worm's hodgepodge characteristics make the creature more compelling. Fans wildly speculate that the death worms may have influenced everything from Dune's Shai-Hulud, to Tremor's graboids, to Tolkien's lore, which mentions giant werewolves in the east. They certainly influenced Yuri Gorlov, a conservationist who occasionally worked in the Gobi in the 1970s and 1980s. For years, Gorlov and a team of collaborators batted around ideas about what real-life animal might have inspired the worm. Then in 1983, while in the region, they heard about an old man who'd supposedly captured one. They went out to talk to him and learned a nest was supposedly nearby. Gorlov ran out to investigate and saw movement in a hole. Ignoring cries of concern, he thrust his hand in and came out with a Tatar sand boa, a chunky, burrowing, non-venomous snake with a rounded head, small eyes, and gray-brown scales. All the Mongols he showed it to in the area reportedly identified it as an Algoi Korkoi. The Gobi Desert is a vast region that spans a territory of 500,000 square miles of rough terrain, making the existence of undiscovered animal species more likely. Additionally, there are worm species that have been known to live in sand instead of soil, like the giant beachworm, Australoneuphis teres, in Australia. Yet, nobody has been able to capture photographic proof of the Mongolian death worm. Although the legend of the Mongolian death worm remains strong among locals, its existence has yet to be corroborated by physical evidence or research. There are a few possible explanations for the legend of the Mongolian death worm. The first theory is these accounts might actually be true, but, like most stories passed orally for generations, they have become greatly exaggerated. The English translation of death worm from its original Mongolian name is also misleading, and experts believe that if such a creature exists it may be a type of reptile, not a soft, wriggly worm. Either the worm lizard, which looks like a large limbless worm that burrows underground and grows up to several feet, or a type of sand boa snake could have originally inspired the death worm lore. No matter how the legend of the Mongolian death worm began, cryptid researchers have not given up hope that someday they will track it down. This concludes today's episode of the Paranormal Report. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give us a like and consider subscribing to our channel. The team here at the Paranormal Report really appreciates your support.